Regardless of what industry you work in, you've probably seen an incident where a crucial piece of information didn't get communicated between shifts. This is a common problem. How do we ensure critical information is shared between operators? And is there a way to audit what information was communicated in the event a problem occurs? My name is Dylan Pereira, and in this video from InSource Solutions, I want to talk about improving this process by digitizing our shift handovers. When we talk about how shift handovers typically occur, we'll often see some similar problems come up. First, if the handovers are done verbally between operators, there are a few issues we can run into. It's possible the operator ending the shift will forget key pieces of information to communicate. If they do communicate it, it's possible the new operator may forget it. And in the end, if we need to look back at what's occurred a week or a month later, there isn't a good way to audit this information. Now, the second approach we could take, writing things down, is definitely an improvement. But there are still some weaknesses. When we formalize our handoffs by providing pre-printed reports, we still run into issues. When we think about auditing the information, it relies on our team collecting these forms from the lines. If these forms were never collected, obviously they aren't of any use to us. And similarly, you might have seen facilities where these forms are collected, but they're placed in a file cabinet never to be looked at again. The other half of this issue is, the forms rely on the operator writing in the correct information. Now, these are just a couple of the potential issues, but ideally, if this was my plant, I'd want to automate this process as much as possible to help ensure we're putting out good product with the least potential for problems. So that brings up the question, what do we want from a new solution? If you ask me, there are a couple key points that we're looking for. First, I want to be able to set up guidelines for what information should be communicated between shifts. This way, even if I have a brand new operator, I can be sure they'll pass along the correct information. Secondly, whatever that information is, I want to make sure it's as accurate as possible. Third, if an issue occurs, or we just want to evaluate how our lines are performing, I need an easy way to audit the information. If the shift supervisor or plant manager wants to look at the information, let's make it easy for them. And lastly, but maybe most importantly, let's make this easy for our operators. What I'd like to show you in this video is a great solution from J5 International. This is their shift handover module. Let's take a quick look at how it works. When an operator first starts their day, they would open up a browser to access this solution. So first off, this is nice because we don't have to install any software directly on every operator PC. But once they're logged in, they would see the shift handover section, and they'd have the ability to either view completed handoff reports or begin a new one. The system is smart enough to know when our shift changes are, so we have a new report here waiting for me. Now, once the shift handover report is open, the user would leave this up during their shift and as necessary enter in information about what's occurring. For example, we'll say I'm a new operator, and I'm going to say I was able to meet production targets. But what does that really mean? If my target was 100, does that mean I made 100 units? Does it mean I surpassed my goal and made 110? And what about scrap? Maybe I made 100, but also made 20 scrap units. It's great that my user can enter information, but a key want to this system is we want to ensure accuracy and completeness of the data. I also mentioned that we want to make this easy for our operators. Take a look at what I see if I scroll down on this page. this information wasn't entered by the operator. Instead, J5's shift handover module read the data out of my plant historian. Now, my handoff report includes actual values that I need, and it's accurate because I'm not worried about the user manually entering these values. Another nice thing about this is that this form is fully customizable. So I could enter in additional fields for maybe who is working on this shift, or to list out any safety issues that were observed. I now have the ability to ensure the correct pieces of information are communicated and are not forgotten. As well, whenever possible, I can automate the collection of that data. Now, lastly, I want to mention another benefit of this system. J5 International has a number of modules that help digitize different people activities. You may have seen InSource talk about some of these in the past, such as Operator Logbook or the Standing Orders module. Remember, we want to make the lives of our operators as easy as possible. So along the top of the screen, you may notice that in the shift handover report, we also have links for things like standing orders and the operator logbooks. So now, the operator only needs to stay in this handoff report, but can also see important communications or note any problems to the electronic handbook. And similarly, because these are now all linked together and electronic, if the plant manager wants to see what's occurred today or a month ago, he can print off a report of the shift and see all the data in one place. I hope you enjoyed this video from InSource Solutions. My name is Dylan Pereira, and I hope you take a look at J5 International. They have some great tools, and they specialize in digitizing people activities. If you have any questions on this, please contact us here at InSource. We would love to hear from you.